Good evening and welcome. I'm Selena Mead with the Vsb Tv 11 Evening News on this Monday, May the 5th. Our top story tonight, the son of the missing Canadian visitor William Grange appealed to the people of Bermuda this afternoon to keep their eyes open for the 67-year-old who suffers from memory loss and has been missing since he went for a walk on the grounds of Cambridge Beaches at 10 p.m. on Friday. John Grange, who flew in today to be with his mother and help in the search, said it was the first time such a thing has happened and that he thought his father had suddenly had a seizure and found he did not know where he was and was looking for help.
On behalf of my mother and myself, my brother, and my father's grandchildren, I first of all want to thank you for all the effort that you've put in place today. We are blown away by the generosity of the community, the police force, the local media, and an individual, Gordon Outerbridge, today, who's been driving me around and taking me to the local establishments to talk to people. And it's been amazing to get everybody's support. 100% of the people that we talked to today have heard about my father gone missing, and they've all been very, very generous in the support that they want to give. So I'd implore all Bermudians to please take a look as you're driving, when you go home. Take a look in your backyard, in a shed, under the stairs, anywhere where someone might be hiding. He's a really good man. He's a great grandfather, a great husband, a great dad. So I'd ask you to take a few minutes out of your day today to please take that extra look, because I really believe we're going to find him with your help. So thank you. The worry is when he went for a walk Friday night at 10, he didn't know how to come. He didn't remember how to come back, and we think he just kept on walking. And to his mental state today, I think he's scared. And I know if he was out and about, he would ask for help and where he could.
The police have established 2 teams to search for the missing Canadian and will add more men if needed, and other police units are looking out for him while they perform their other functions. The number to call if you think you've seen Mr. Grange is 295-0011. Substantial losses on the Bermuda Hospital contract have left the British construction group Sir Robert McAlpine Holdings facing losses of $50 million and required to make an emergency injection of $75 million into its Bermuda subsidiary BCM McAlpine. The Telegraph newspaper said today that the Bermuda contract worth $250 million had suffered severe problems with design and performance, and that work on the acute care wing of the King Edward, which is due to open in September, has led to significant outstanding claims for BCM McAlpine, believed to be around $30 million. The hospital project was approved by the Bermuda government as a public-private partnership between the Bermuda Hospitals Board and the Paget Health Services Consortium. The development is funded by the BHB, but cost overruns are borne by the Paget Health Services, of which BCM McAlpine is a member. Attorney General Mark Pettingill returned to Bermuda at the weekend after attending the history-making Ukraine Asset Forum, still conscious of the compliment the invitation has paid to both himself and Bermuda. With U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder and UK Home Secretary Theresa May hosting the global gathering, Mr. Pettingill got the message that Bermuda's financial regulatory standards had not gone unnoticed.
These types of forums and these types of meetings are constantly advancing ideas on how to try and stay ahead of the game. But it's the old classic criminal scenario, you know, follow the money. I mean, that went on from the days of the theories with regard to what happened when the Nazis were finally defeated and run out of Germany. It's a case of, like, you know, endeavoring to follow the money. They fleeced the country and a lot of Europe and went off with the money. The same type of thing still going on today at a more sophisticated level, you know.
Across the world.
Across the world.
Not Ukraine.
So, well, you know, Ukraine has its challenges right now, especially, and it's really impressive that that they're getting out ahead of it, and that they're certainly seeking international cooperation. I'm more pleased that, you know, we've been asked to be a part of that and to be a part of a forum like this one.
Are we required to take a little look at our assets and our banks and things, see if we've been picking up some of the bad stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a specific requirement of will you do this. It's just something that really happens automatically. We're aware that those challenges are going on in Ukraine, and that's something that our FIA and police, and I would like to think that the banks and the institutions would have a very good look at if they saw assets that they had that they were concerned about, or that there were red flags that got raised, post facto them being here. Then they would issue suspicious activity reports and put them in the hands of the right authorities, including mine.
While in London, the Attorney General took the opportunity to meet with Mr. Holder and Ms. May to discuss matters that concern their countries and Bermuda.
Come up, did it?
The Uyghurs did not come up. I saw that was raised. The Uyghurs did not come up. No, there's some other issues that was not one of them that I raised. No. So.
And what do the British have on their minds?
I'm sorry?
What do the British have on their minds?
Well, they've always got something on their minds, the British. So we have our conversations there, and I think that we're working well together to do all that we can, both legislatively and with the extension of conventions, which is important. That we have to bridge all of those things. When it comes to extradition, we have to make sure that we're right in line with everything that is going on. So we're constantly having conversations like that.
And the mood of the meetings, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, upbeat. These are in the sense of people are working together, and sharing with regard to their regimes and their jurisdictions and what is working and what isn't working. So yeah, I think very upbeat and very encouraging.
Was it a useful addition to your trip? On the one issue, you had a chance to talk about Bermuda directly to two important people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's always part of it. The large focus on this one was asset recovery, but you always take the opportunity to have the bilaterals, to have meetings, with someone like the U.S. Attorney General, if there are issues that are here. And I mean, we discussed the marijuana issue. I've always said there's no point in us looking down a certain road unless we have those conversations with our U.S. friends. So we have to have that. So that was one of the ones we touched on that when I was in Morocco last year, and raised it again. We had a more expanded conversation on it this time, which is important.
And what a fantastic turnout we had this past weekend at the End-to-End. Organizers estimate that more than $250,000 was raised for local charities during Saturday's End-to-End hosted by Catlin. Event organizer Stephen Davidson reflects on this day.
Well, we had a fantastic day on Saturday. We had record-breaking crowds take part in the Catlin End-to-End this year, with more than 3,000 people officially signed up for it. More than 500 volunteers and thousands of people, across the different routes, just coming out to cheer people in and even kind of unofficially joining in. It is one of those days where the community spirit of Bermuda thrives.
Right. This all started out with just walking. Now it has branched out considerably.
Oh, absolutely. The Catlin End-to-End started out 20 years ago with a group of work colleagues who, did it on a dare to each other, and they had so much fun that they did it again, and more friends joined in, and it gradually became, official. And now we really think it's one of the big events on Bermuda's social calendar, like the Ag Show and the 24th of May.
Right.
And we have, we try and keep it as a non-competitive event, with different events along the way to appeal to people's skill level and interest. So we've got middle to end, end-to-end walks, bike rides. We've had people rowing, paddling, and this year we had more than 1,000 bicycles on the road on Saturday, and that's saying something in any country. But in somewhere as small as Bermuda, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and the target this year was, I'm hearing, $200,000 or thereabouts.
Well, we believe that last year our participants were able to raise $260,000 for charity, and we're hoping that we will be able to do that again this year. And all signs are looking great for that.
Still ahead is Shay Barker with the weather preview.
Hey, thanks, Selena. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar. Well, the weather cleared just in time for work on Monday. Yay! But is this going to stick with us through the rest of the week? I have more coming up later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday, on 41 Victoria Street in Hamilton for your home appliance and hardware needs. Sears, washers and dryers, refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, a large array of Craftsman tools and accessories, lawn and garden tools, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, barbecue grills, and much, much more. Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday. Sears, bringing Bermuda the best variety at everyday low prices.
The following vignette was taken from Bermuda 5 Centuries by Rosemary Jones and other local history sources, and is sponsored by Belco, The Power to Save, Lindo's, Why Go Anyplace Else, Gosling's, Bermuda Investment Advisory Services, and Colonial Insurance. Some white people seem to regard colored people as invisible people, non-existent. The only way he can feel he is there is to do something to attract attention. Elmer Champhunt, August 1968.
And welcome back to Vsb TV 11. Meyer Agencies, the local agents for the Norwegian mega cruise ship Norwegian Breakaway, due to make its first visit of the season to Dockyard on Wednesday, declined this afternoon to provide any information about the possibility of the ship, with 4,000 passengers and 1,500 crew, being withdrawn for inspection and repair. The liner suffered mechanical problems to its steerage system while entering New York Harbor on Sunday and had to remain out in the Hudson River for several hours before being assisted to the dock by tugs. A marine inspection was due to be held on Sunday night, when the Breakaway should have been heading for Bermuda with a scheduled arrival time of 7 a.m. on Wednesday. The Bermuda Chamber of Commerce, who launched the first Harbor Nights festivities on Front Street on Wednesday, will be among the local enterprises who will be eager to hear what is going on. Famed U.S. author Mark Twain's personal and literary connections with Bermuda are unique and of great appeal to citizens of the United States, and it should be made into a tourism icon that could include stamps, guide tours, publicity, and lecturers. This is the opinion of Cindy Lovell, Executive Director of the Mark Twain House and Museum in Hartville, Connecticut, and she converted an audience of locals and tourists to her views when she addressed them as part of the Masterworks Art Museum exhibition this past weekend.
I feel a personal debt of gratitude to the island of Bermuda, to the folks who lived here during his time, because they made him feel so welcome, and he loved it, and he wrote about it extensively. He returned again and again, and so I'm glad that a fellow who was working as hard as he was able to come here and have some downtime. But it's wonderful to see interest here in him again, and I'm happy to play any little role in that.
When the tragedy struck his life, he turned to Bermuda too.
Well, he did. At the very end, he withstood a lot of tragedy in his lifetime, but the final blow came when his youngest daughter was 29 years old, but she'd always suffered from epilepsy, and she died of a seizure on Christmas Eve morning in 1909, drowned in the bathtub. It was a crushing blow. By then, he had, buried an infant son, buried his oldest daughter at the age of 24, buried his wife in 1904, so here it is 1909, and this crushing blow. He had just returned from Bermuda. He had been here, had been enjoying himself, had a wonderful stay, gone back home for the holidays to be with his daughter who lived with him, and this terrible blow came. And his response to that was, go to Bermuda. He had a lovely time here. He made many friends, and he had scattered visits. His first visit, he was a very young man. It was 1867. It was simply a stop on the way back to the States after having been touring Europe and the Holy Lands for 160 days. And then they stopped here for 4 days, so that was his first glimpse. He returned 10 years later with his friend Joe Twitchell, who was a preacher, and they came, and he wrote 2 different stories. He wrote everything in a notebook. Mark Twain kept copious notes of everything he did, and these notebooks still exist, so we can go in and read these lovely notes. But he wrote all kinds of things in the notebook, but then he also wrote a piece for the Atlantic Monthly all about Bermuda, and it was called Some Rambling Notes of an Idle Excursion.
In a way, he's a John Lennon. We've glorified John Lennon's connections with Bermuda, another era, another century,
Sure.
But there's a similarity. They both did something creative, and Bermuda was the beneficiary.
Well, and maybe you could say Bermuda was a beneficiary, but they were as well. It's reciprocal. When you can go to a place and be inspired and be feel creative and feel relaxed. That's reciprocity. And I think, whatever Mark Twain did for Bermuda, I think Mark Twain would tell you that Bermuda did 10 times more for him.
Now here's a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Global equity markets were steady on Monday as upbeat U.S. data offset concern over growth in China and political tensions in the Ukraine. U.S. stocks rose as an expansion in American service industries offset concern over lower China manufacturing data. The S&P 500 rose 0.19% to 1885. On the Bermuda Stock Exchange, 300 shares of Bank of Butterfield shares traded unchanged at $1.99. 2,600 shares of Keytech Limited traded hands, with the stock price falling 1% to $4.95. European shares fell on Monday as concerns about an escalating conflict in Ukraine and weak Chinese manufacturing data sapped investors' appetite for risk. Hong Kong stocks slumped as a private sector gauge of China's manufacturing missed estimates and holiday home sales declined. The Hang Seng fell 1.28% to 21,976. The Vsb rose to a 5-month high after a poll showed Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff's lead against potential candidates in the October presidential election would be too narrow to call a first-round victory. Treasuries dropped, pushing yields up after a gauge of service industries rose to the highest since August. Benchmark 10-year note yields increased 2 basis points to 2.61. The U.S. dollar was marginally weaker against other major currencies as benchmark U.S. Treasury yields hovered near 3-month lows. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. We'll have more news after this.
Price Right on Millreach offers you warehouse shopping for bulk and valued price groceries, frozen foods and health and beauty items, home furnishings, dinnerware and carpets for your bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen. Bikes, toys, and activity sets for kids, teens, and tweens. Electronics and home and audio-visual accessories. Visit Price Right. Always something new and always something for everyone. Open 9 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 1 to 6 on Sundays.
To celebrate Earth Day, the Bermuda National Trust, with the support of event sponsor Marshall Deal and Myers Limited, asked Bermuda school students to create videos highlighting environmental issues. Vsb Tv 11 is proud to air the best videos submitted on Thursday, May the 8th at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. and repeated on Sunday, May the 11th at 8 p.m. Sponsored by Belco, Lindos, and Auto Solutions.
And People and Places is next with Charles Webb.
People and Places with Charles Webb is brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
One of Bermuda's hidden treasures is the railway trail. And Dr. Tucker Murphy, who's a member of the Friends of Bermuda Railway Trail, is here to tell me just what they're doing to improve this tourism beauty spot. Fresh from his Olympic challenges in Sochi, Russia, Tucker Murphy has taken on the challenge of revitalizing the railway trail, ribbons of paths that both locals and our visitors enjoy.
It's basically come together to try and improve and enhance the railway trail for 3 main reasons: health, tourism, and sustainability.
And how far have you got on the railway trail improvement?
Well, we've had a lot of good luck. We started out last year just doing small improvements with benches and trash cans, things that were manageable. And this year we've had founding members, private companies who've donated their money and time to bridge the Bailey's Bay section of trail.
But this is rather a Herculean task. How did you get involved in this?
Well, it's something, I mean, this is one of Bermuda's few open spaces and few resources on such a small island, so we believe it's extremely important. And I guess given my background, I spend a lot of time training on trails here and elsewhere, and so I've experienced it personally. It's a difficult place to lead a very healthy lifestyle.
Now tell me about how the Bayless Bay Bridge will be connected.
So the plan, which planning approval and the plans have been submitted, and we've had a lot of help from volunteer help from an engineering firm and architectural firms here and volunteers in constructing the plans to connect the railway trail running from Bailey's Bay across toward Coney Island.
Now you've had assistance from some international companies.
Yeah, in terms of funding, it's a public-private partnership, and all our funding comes from six founding members, including Renre, Montpelier, Ironshore, AWAC, an individual J. Nichols, and then our small foundation, Limbo Up Foundation.
Now, did you find this project more daunting than what you were doing in the Sochi Olympics?
Everything is a challenge, you know. It's a different sort of challenge. This one is much more of a political and engineering challenge than a physical one.
Kimberly Masters is a tour specialist with Women Tours in Rochester, New York. To say that the railway trail is a boon to Bermuda's tourism would be putting it mildly.
I think the railway trail is a great opportunity for Bermuda to expand their adventure tourism. To me, at this point, the baby boom population in the United States is really growing, and these people are looking for places to explore. I see the railroad trail as really a way to discover Bermuda. I'm planning to bring 45 people this year from the United States over here to bicycle the trail. We've just run 2 tours and are running another tour in November, and people are so impressed by the place. I think that this railway trail is a great thing to invest in so that more people are comfortable coming over, riding on these trails, and discovering what all Bermuda has to offer.
Here with Tucker Murphy and Kimberly Masters at the Bermuda Railway Trail, for People and Places, I'm Charles Webb, Vsb News.
People and Places with Charles Webb has been brought to you by Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Want for much more furniture? Then shop at Big Savings Zone. Their prices are guaranteed, not estimates. Have you ever ordered something online expecting it to be a certain price, but when it arrives, it ends up being a whole lot more? Beware of those unexpected hidden fees. That never happens at Big Savings Zone. Their prices include all charges landed in Bermuda, so there's no surprises when your order arrives. Why settle for imitations? Shop at Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, the revised Belco Cup cricket schedule will see Devonshire Rec host Cleveland, Willow Cuts meets Bridge at White Hill, Bailey's Bay now entertains Somerset, while Western Stars clash with St. George's in the remaining preliminary match on Saturday, May the 10th. The winners advance to the quarterfinals for the following day, May 11th, and Devonshire Rec's veteran player Dennis Williams told VSB Sports that their main priority is promotion.
We're appreciative of the new format and what Belco is trying to achieve by it. At the same time, we know our limitations, but we'll be putting our best foot forward in this competition, and hopefully it will put us in good stead for the remainder of the season to follow. Last year's format, as we all know, wasn't as successful as everyone would have hoped. Thus the change of format to have 2 divisions this year. But with this competition, it still gives the lesser teams a look in at what the top teams are doing and how they go about their game, and maybe we can learn a few things from that and take into our season in the first division. Many years ago, Ben, I think it was called the Premier Cup. Back then, Devonshire Rec were the initial winners, and you know, it's a wonderful opportunity to be involved with this level of competition again, the prestige of it all. And we actually were in Belco Cup in 2010, I think it was 2010, 2011. We lost to Bayless Bay up at Somerset in the semi-final, and we're in a rebuilding stage now, and this would, you know, put us in good stead with that process. If a team that's ranked in the Premier Division comes and loses to us, that'll be a little stain on them and maybe their psyche going into their season and what they're trying to achieve, and it'll be a major boost for us as we strive to get back where we think we need to be. It's a cricket match, and you know, every game you go in, you want to do well, and absolutely we'll be going there all guns blazing, and to show that we did learn something from last season's experience, and hopefully we can carry it on this year.
That should do it. Enjoy your new shower.
Experience the bold look of Kohler at a Kohler registered showroom.
Well, the abysmal weather on Sunday made way to great weather on Monday. Why? Because nature is a jerk. That's why. I'm Jay Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shots for today. Our first one taken by Liz Council. This is last night's sunset. While the day wasn't all that great, the sunset apparently from Warwick was gorgeous. Just a great shot sent in by Liz Council. Lots of color, lots of water and sky. Just a good one. This is going to be tough to beat. But our second shot for today, taken by Jill Rain, and you can see how beautiful it was today. 1 p.m. over Flats in Smiths, blue skies, blue water. This was the day that you wanted to be out and not at work. Thanks to both of them for sending in these shots. Our highs and lows for today, well, we saw 75, so it was pretty warm. Felt warm. 2 p.m. today, 67 was our low at 6 a.m. this morning. Currently, we're looking at 72 degrees. Humidity is 70%. Winds of the west-northwest at 16 knots. And the barometric pressure is falling slowly at 29.81 inches. So far for May, we've seen 0.79 inches of rain. Total for the year up to 21.82 inches, but that normal is creeping up on us of 19.03 inches. Take a look at our satellite map. Well, a weak front to the northwest will move through the area this evening with a chance of a passing shower. Otherwise, dry air ridge of high pressure will provide mainly fair conditions through Tuesday. Another boundary will approach on Wednesday morning, bringing 1 or 2 showers. High pressures will then return to the area, bringing dry conditions and light winds. In the gateway cities, it'll be 85 and sunny in Atlanta. Boston, partly cloudy and 61 degrees. 88 and partly cloudy in Charlotte. London, partly cloudy and 66 degrees. Miami, mostly sunny and 86, which I'll be tomorrow, so yay for me. 67 and mostly sunny in New York. Orlando, mostly sunny and 90 degrees. Philadelphia, partly cloudy and 69. Toronto, which I'll be on Saturday, 55 degrees. Not so great for me, partly cloudy. Washington, partly cloudy and 69 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy, chance of a brief evening shower, low of around 66 degrees Fahrenheit. For our Canadians out there, that's 19 degrees Celsius. Winds out of the west-northwest at 16 to 22 knots, and out of the northwest at 12 to 18 knots. For tomorrow, we're looking at a high temperature of around 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. Winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 knots, westerly through the afternoon, and then it will increase to 12 to 18 knots overnight. For tonight, there is a small craft warning in effect. Seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef 4 to 6 feet. And your sea temperature 72 degrees. Creeping up. It's going to be nice in there. For mariners tomorrow, there are no warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef 1 to 3 feet. Seas outside the reef 5 to 8 feet. Low tide 8:44 a.m. and high tide will be at 2:37 p.m. Take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 74. Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a morning shower or 2, high of 75. Thursday, mostly sunny but partly cloudy, high of 73. Friday, mostly sunny and 74. And Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, 1 or 2 morning showers, high of 74. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help, and a special shout out to my friends at Alexander's of London down at English Sports Shop. Helped me look my best today. Worked with me this weekend. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys again next week.
And we thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us at Vsb Tv 11. Good night, Bermuda.
Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sorden, provided by Gibbons Company.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.